get your kids taken away from you, and you was going to cry about it, and there was nothing you can do. And he said there would be no might in your hand. Who did that happen to? They did that to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. They took our kids and they sold them to another plantation. And all you got to do is watch the slave movies, if you don't know what I'm talking about.
The items being offered for defects and blemishes, please step forward at your pleasure. Calling your attention to the first item being offered for sale. Now, she's a fine black pearl indeed, gentlemen. She's in fine condition. She made the entire trip above decks like a fine lady. You'll find no marks. She's young, she's supple, she's strong.
Posture, boy, posture.
God said, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity. God said you're going to get your kids taken away from you, and you was going to cry about it, and there was nothing you can do. And he said there would be no might in your hand. Who did that happen to? Blacks, right? It didn't happen to the Jewish man. They went into concentration camps in 1948, but the Jewish man, he went after the Nazis. He had power to get his kids back or whatever happened to them. We don't got power, do we? Because guess what? Even today, if you have kids, right, and say your kids don't go to school, they keep skipping school, who gonna come knock on your door? And then where they gonna take your kids to? The child services, right? And guess what? It's gonna be real hard to get them back, ain't it? If you can get them back. So it's still happening today. So God said these curses gonna be up on the children of Israel. They took not only our kids, but they did that to the Native Americans, our brothers. They did that to the Latinos. You understand that, bro? They did that to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. They took our kids and they sold them to another plantation. And all you got to do is watch the slave movies, if you don't know what I'm talking about. Give me verse 48. Now, let me ask y'all a question. Y'all got any jobs? Do y'all own them? Who own it? I mean, but who own majority, like in America? Who own majority of the white people are the businesses? White, because you could create a business, but you still got to go through a system that somebody owns. White people, right? Arabs, all of them own it. I'm going to show you that that's the curse according to God. God said, listen to what God said. This is how you know who we are. Verse 48.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
God said, God said, therefore, where that slave sign at? Somebody come hold this slave sign real quick. Hold this, come on this side. I need y'all to see some visuals. God said, now we still going to the curses, right? He said, therefore
shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
So, who came against us? So what did God say? God said, read that last part.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
So who sent the white man against us? God. God said, no, remember, God is whooping us right now. God said, he said, if you disobey me, I'm going to curse you. God sent the white man and all the other nations against us for our disobedience. So we showing you that we are being whipped, being punished right now for our disobedience. Because God not going to come down here and do nothing. He just going to use his creation. He going to use the people he created. Oh, y'all don't want to do what I say? I'm going to get this damn pale-faced white man. He going to oppress the hell out of you and beat the hell out of you for me. Until you remember who you are. And for, you know what I'm saying, and repent. Good.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger.
He said you're going to serve your enemies in hunger. Think about slavery. What we had to do for food? We had to work all day for food, didn't we? And what they feed us? Slop. Why do you think people like chitlins today? Right. You eating pig shit. Pig feet, pickle eggs, ears. You eating all the slop that the white man left over after he had a good feast. He threw the food. And the slaves ate the scraps. Think about today, right? Do we own rallies right there?
No.
What about Snooks?
Yeah.
We own Snooks?
Yeah. We own one of the Snooks on Bell Fountain.
We don't own that. You may have a franchise. You don't own Snooks. The corporation of Snooks is owned by a white man. That's the same thing with a damn Steak and Shake. You can franchise through a Steak and Shake. You don't own Steak and Shake. Snooks is that's a white man brand. That's been around. Right. We don't own no. You might buy into a franchise, but you don't own Snooks. What about, do we own Walmart?
So do we own House?
No.
It's a white man name, Snooks.
No, we don't own houses. Think about it. If you don't pay your property taxes, what happens? So do you own it?
But if you do pay your property taxes, you do own that house, right?
You don't own it. I'm gonna show you.
Because you have the right to own your own stuff, right?
But I'm gonna show you
through credit. That's the new way. I understand you saying through the old way. I'm just saying that's through the new way.
I'm gonna show you how we don't own nothing. I'm gonna show you because God said we're gonna serve our enemies, right? He's gonna tell you exactly what you're gonna serve your enemy for. Now, let me ask you a question. If you're serving your enemies for something, does that mean you own anything? Right. So listen to what the Bible say. We're gonna show you. I'm gonna show you that still to this day we in captivity paying taxes. Read that, Baruch 3 and 8.
Baruch chapter 3 and verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity.
You hear that? Our forefathers said, hey, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity. And I'm looking around, we still in captivity. Why? Because we still in the same place the slave boats dropped us off at. How do I know that? Because we still here in America, and most of us are still wherever the places our people pick the cotton fields at. You might have migrated up to New York, maybe LA, stuff like that, but you still on the same land where you was held captive. Right. God said, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity.
Where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments.
God said we subject to payments, right? So what that mean?
Yeah, you ain't did that shit? You ain't playing games. Hold on. Look at this guy. What you doing, man? You subscribed yet? Subscribe right now. Do.
He say you still in captivity and you still have to be subject to payments. Ain't we paying taxes today? Who we paying taxes to?
The white man.
The white man, right? When you look at the money, who pays on it?
White man.
What you got to do every year at the end of the work year? What you got to file?
Tax.
And what happened if you owe taxes?
You gotta pay them.
Who you paying it to?
The white man.
So exactly, bro. So you see how everything's starting to make sense. Like we're not really free. You understand? So go back to Deuteronomy 20, and I'm gonna show you that we don't own nothing as a people. Read that. Let me let them go by.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger.
Now we talked about hunger, food,
and in thirst.
Now you said you're gonna serve your enemies in thirst. Think about slavery. They gave us what, half a pint of water doing slavery, right? Think about what happens if you don't pay your water bill?
You get cut off.
Who cut it off?
The white people.
The white people, right?
Yep.
What if I want to go to Walgreens to buy me some Dasani? Who own that?
White people.
Damn, what if I want some apple juice?
White people.
What if I want to buy me a Crown Royal or something? Who own that?
White people.
Damn! Can I go buy a black-owned drink that's made by black people, produced by black people?
Yeah.
Probably. Who? Where?
Anywhere.
Where? No. They don't make that. They just, that's the brand.
Black man invented Jack Daniels.
Where? We invented Jack Daniels. Who do you think got that? White man.
Same thing with peanut butter.
There you go. Everything we invent, they take, right? But we created everything. Right. But when I'm saying this, God said we got to serve our enemies and the one of all things. Now we're talking about thirst. Keep going.
And in nakedness.
He said you got to serve your enemies in nakedness. Let's go back to slavery. Then what they give us for clothing? Look, rags, right?
Yeah.
Now let's talk about today. Now let me ask you a question. Didn't we pick cotton?
Yep.
For about 400 years, right?
Right.
Where our stocks at in that?
No what?
Damn, how much a pack of Hanes t-shirts cost? That costs a lot, don't it? 18, it's more than minimum wage, ain't it? Yeah. And you're like, damn, wait a minute. My ancestors picked this cotton. Who got rich off of that?
White people.
White people, right?
Yeah.
What textile fabric can we go to that black people make? Meaning about cotton, silk, polyester. What do we produce?
None that I know.
Nothing as a nation the people do. So God says you got to serve your enemies. As a matter of fact, if you look at the back of your clothing, where it says made at? China, Vietnam, I don't know, whatever damn country. It ain't made in the hood by Tyrone, is it? It ain't made in Wellston, is it? It's overseas. But all the other nations, they can go get their clothing from their country. They can bring their clothing over here. Where we gonna get ours from? You gotta go to Walmart. God said you're gonna serve your enemies in nakedness, go ahead.
And in the one of all things.
He said, now you're going to serve your enemies in the one of all things, going back to a house. If you want to buy a house, who you got to ask? The white man, and what you hoping that you got to have to let you get the house?
Good credit.
Some good credit, or you gotta have a big down payment, don't you? And then, but look, where did you want to move over there in Chesterfield, or give me some white places, what's gonna happen? They gonna redline you, and they gonna say, Tyrone, I think you better off in Spanish Lake. You're like, nah, but I want my kids to go to Kirkwood and Chesterfield. They might redline you. They will say, well, you don't meet the requirements. You're like, but I got a 750 credit score. Right. Well, just they ain't gonna tell you that they redlining you. They can say, listen, you can get the best house over there in Delwood. And you're like, man, I'm trying to get away from this crime. Because, you're like, listen, I'm trying to get out the hood. They're like, I don't think so, buddy. God said you're going to serve him in the one of all things. What about you want to go to college? Who you got to ask?
You got to ask one, man.
And what you hoping that you have to have to meet the requirements? A good GPA score. Because what do most of us need to get in college? A scholarship.
Yeah.
Do your parents got $30,000, $40,000 student loan? A down payment for college? Or what you got to take out? Student loans. Now you in debt. Now you got to ask the white man for a student loan. You got to hope he give you a student loan every year just for you to be in debt. God said you're going to serve him in a one of all things. Think about if you want a car. Who own that? White people, right? What about you want to leave the country? Who you got to ask?
White people.
And what you got to get? And what you got to hope that you don't have in order for you to get the passport? A bad record, right? Or you might be, child support. You might be behind on that. Sorry, Tyrone. You owe too much on child support. You can't leave the country, buddy. You're like, damn, am I not a slave here? God said you're going to serve your enemies in one of all things, and there's more.
It says, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
This is the verse right here. And point to that yoke. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. When the chains come off? 1865. Whatever time people after that? We became lost. We tried to build something, right? What happened? They bombed Tulsa, Oklahoma. They destroyed all our neighborhoods. Look at us today. East St. Louis, they burned that down to the ground. Wellston, Kinlock, and everywhere we at, they made sure we didn't rise up. But he said, the scripture say he gonna, Castle Point, it say he gonna put a yoke of iron up on thy neck. Think about like a dog. You put a chain on the dog, you beat him, you feed him, you take the chain off, put it back on, you beat him, you feed him, you take the chain off. You do that many, many times. What happens to that dog after that? When you take that chain off? No. He obeyed.
Sons of God! We're gonna take this city. We're gonna take the kingdom. We're gonna rule them hard. This is war! This is war! This is war! I'm here for the win, well, to get it again. The Lord call it taking the kingdom. Want what's mine? Taking my time, turning and taking your freedom. Risen from the ashes, after the lashes, call it a beautiful tragedy. We've been on the brink of insanity. It's the end of your days, our calamity. Adding in, grab a friend for the finale. Curtain call on a heathen. We want forever and a day. Why would the pastor lie and say it's your season? Drop a bomb on them, Hiroshima. Drop a bomb on them cause they need it. Scrub it down, planet need a